Lizzie, the Plum Blossom Guild Master, says that they must recruit the F-rank awakened individual immediately. She asks Manhwa why he came to her after hearing about the awakened individual. He tells her that he thought he should report it to her first. Annoyed by his response, Lizzie begins to yell at him, saying that he should have gone to the site and recruited the rookie already. Lizzie sees that the deputy guild master is confused, so she begins to spell it out for him. She explains how they both agreed that it is the first time they learned of an awakened with such abilities. She tells him that the awakened individual is an irregular whose skills are extremely rare. She then asks him a rhetorical question: does it not sound like someone that they must recruit to their guild? Manhwa apologizes and tells her he will leave right away. Lizzie shouts at him because he is still wasting time talking to her, and she kicks him out the door. Meanwhile, somewhere in the city, Sun Yul-min, the White Lotus Deputy Guild Master, is driving while listening to the news as they begin to talk about their coverage of the recent outbreak that occurred at New Humanity Street. An F-rank awakened rookie, named Do-hyuk Park, is making headlines after he single-handedly took out a pack of gnomes. Sun Yul receives a call from In Hong Kong, the guild master. In Hong Kong asks Sun Yul how she is enjoying her drive while he is left to do all the paperwork at the office. She remarks that he has always put her in charge of recruiting. She then asks him how much she should offer as a down payment. He replies, 3 billion won. She asks him if he really thinks that is enough to sway such a unique awakened individual to join their guild. She tells him that they need to come higher. The guild master listens and tells her 10 billion won, however, the rookie would need to pass the guild's internal test. Sun Yul questions if that is really necessary but agrees. She says that she'll use her charm to make sure they recruit him. The guild master tells her to not flirt with other guys, and to just get the job done, and he then hangs up. A crowd of people are gathered outside of Do-hyuk's apartment. These people are from various guilds who came with a strong interest in recruiting Do-hyuk. However, they are all upset at the note that is taped on his front door. They say that either Do-hyuk has some guts, or he is being a jackass. They ask what the hell is wrong with him and wonder if Do-hyuk really thinks he is that talented. A car pulls up and parks in front of the apartment. The recruiters become disgruntled when they see the deputy guild master of the country's #1 guild stepping out of the car. Sun Yul-min begins walking toward Do-hyuk's apartment as people around her begin thinking that they should just give up and head back. They wonder if Do-hyuk has already agreed to sign with the White Lotus Guild. Sun Yul-min recognizes a person in the crowd and tells him that she is surprised to see him there when he is struggling to keep his guild afloat. She continues to say that only a guild with deep pockets like the White Lotus can recruit an irregular. However, she stops tooting her own horn when she arrives in front of Do-hyuk's apartment and sees the note on the door. 100 billion won, period. I politely decline discussing any offers below this sum, so please go back. Sun Yul-min, taken aback, turns around and asks a man named Hun what he thinks about the amount. The man tells her to not call him by his name and lets her know that she disgusts him. This man is Hun Kim, and he is the deputy guild master of the Black Spirit Guild, who Sun Yul-min insulted just a few moments ago. Responding to her question, Hun Kim asks what guild would invest 100 billion won in an F-rank awakened, over some puny spells. Sun Yul-min argues that they are not puny spells, and that Do-hyuk is an irregular. She asks him if he has ever seen an awakened individual use spells. Hun Kim answers no, and says it is still an outrageous amount of money and that this person will never get a contract with a demand like that. She tells him that perhaps he just wants to find a guild that fully recognizes his value. Sun Yul-min calls out to Do-hyuk and tells him that she will be returning with a better offer soon, and then leaves. As the car drives away, Do-hyuk notices it starting to become quiet and wonders if everyone has finally left. Do-hyuk feels strange that he is being recruited by so many people. He tells himself that he does not need to join a guild to earn money. Also, he does not want to feel tied down by a guild, as joining a guild would mean saying goodbye to his freedom. Do Hyuk believes what he needs the most is to increase his strength and gain experience. He thinks he will be able to achieve this thanks to the information he has been gathering. He begins to look forward to getting started. 5 days later, somewhere in the country, Do Hyuk arrives at a restricted location that is regulated by the KMAA. He stands in front of the entrance and is happy to have finally arrived. He traveled the country for 5 days searching for artifacts. He acquired a handful of normal and magic-grade artifacts that boosts magic, wisdom, and charm. Among the magic artifacts, Do Hyuk found a pair of binoculars that allows the user to identify a person in a group of 5 people with malicious intent. It also allows the user to see through hallucinations. The magic grade belt increases both agility and muscular strength by 30 points. In addition, the stats boosts will increase by 3 every time the wearer loses 2.2 pounds of weight. However, the opposite effect can occur if the wearer gains weight. In addition to acquiring the artifacts, Do Hyuk is proud that he is wearing the latest defense armor and that he now owns an armored vehicle. Reviewing his stats, he thinks about how far he has come to prepare for this day. An agent at the site informs him that his identity has been verified and that he may now enter. A bright light begins to shine on his face while Do Hyuk eagerly awaits as he watches the gate in front of him open. Dungeons and fields. In the last 21 years, many dungeons have emerged across the country. Most dungeons were managed by guilds and the KMAA. Special procedures for gaining access to a dungeon were established, and it was especially difficult for unaffiliated F-rank awakened individuals to be permitted. Unlike dungeons, fields were more accessible to the general awakened population. A field is a designated area in which an ecosystem of monsters exists, formed as a result of dungeon monsters escaping into this world. To contain the monster population, massive walls were built around these areas, where monsters continue to breed and inhabit the world. Fields provide awakened individuals an opportunity to gain experience and acquire items from hunting monsters. It is also an opportunity for some people who need to earn extra money. There's a group of goblins that came across a pile of meat on the ground. Do Hyuk is perched in the branches of a tree nearby. He watches the goblins eat the meal that he had prepared. He begins to activate Magic Missile and unleashes an attack on the goblins. Looking down at the goblin bodies, Do Hyuk thinks he has never seen anything this gory. He is a little surprised at how well his stomach is handling it, and he wonders if this is because he isn't awakened now. He opens the container that he has been carrying and dumps the rest of the bait all over the ground. Goblins and wolf monsters begin to appear, and Do Hyuk soon finds himself surrounded by many monsters. He grins, thinking it is time to collect them all now. At the monster carcass shop, a butcher is counting a pile of monster carcasses on the counter. It's been a while since he saw monster carcasses in such good condition, and he thanks Do Hyuk for selling good quality carcasses to them. Do Hyuk asks him how much he can get for them. The butcher tells him it will be about 300 million won, about $252,000. Other awakened individuals inside the shop begin to talk about the sale because they have never seen anyone be paid so much in one sale. The butcher tells Do Hyuk that the money will be transferred to his account soon and that there is a package for him. He apologizes to him because they had to open the package for safety inspection. The contents in the package was a book. Do Hyuk thanks him for holding on to the package. The butcher tells him that it is no problem at all and that they are just grateful that such a talented awakened decided to do business with them. Do Hyuk tries to be modest and tells him that he was just lucky. He actually wanted to wrap this up quickly and quietly because he did not want to draw any attention to himself. However, a young man has been watching their interaction. He points him out to his brothers, Red and Blue, and tells them about how Do Hyuk just cashed in 300 million won's worth of monster carcasses. Yellow begins ranting about how they struggle for days just to make 3 million won, about $2,500, and after travel costs, all they can afford to eat are cup noodles. He also mentions how the shop employee has not been very polite to them. The brothers begin to glare at Do Hyuk and despise him. They say that Do Hyuk is a rascal who thinks he now owns the world, just because he can wield some magic. And there is no way he is not trying to brag and show off, he is just pretending to be modest. The brothers begin having thoughts about wanting to kill Do Hyuk, until Blue says, "Let's kill that rascal." Red and Yellow are taken aback because it sounded like Blue actually meant it. Blue begins scheming how to get rid of him. He says if Do Hyuk earned that much money today, then he will definitely come back to the field soon. He also points out that they have been coming to this place for 2 years, and today is the first time they have seen him, which means he's a newbie. They can attack him from behind when he is loading carcasses into his truck, and finish him off. When they pass through the security checkpoint, they will just say that Do Hyuk was part of the group. Since everyone who enters the field signs a liability waiver, they will be able to leave without any issues. The brothers become convinced that this plan will work. In addition to killing Do Hyuk, they plan to take his money and his armored vehicle and his dimension stones. The next day, Do Hyuk is back in the field. He complains as he loads a goblin carcass into his truck, because it is a lot more work cleaning up than killing monsters. Meanwhile, the brothers are hiding in the bushes and getting ready to launch their sneak attack on Do Hyuk. The oldest brother, Yellow, tells Blue to back him up while he makes his move. Do Hyuk hears rustling in the bushes behind him. When he turns around, he sees he is about to be attacked by someone. His attacker lands a blow to his head. Fortunately, he had activated armor to protect himself just in time. Yellow tells Do Hyuk that this is what happens when he shows off. His brothers cheer him on as he prepares to deliver the final blow. He raises his weapon above his head with both hands and swings down using all his strength. However, his attack has been blocked midway. Do Hyuk grabs onto the weapon as he tries to regain his composure after feeling the full force of the impact on his head. He asks his attacker if that is all he's got for him and grabs onto his face. Thinking that responding to a murderous intent with the same intent is considered self-defense, Do Hyuk unleashes burning hands on contact and kills Yellow instantly. Red and Blue realize that going after Do Hyuk was a mistake, as they watch their plan goes up in flames, literally.